Oh, hi, everybody. I'm back. This is Real Deal. We are here to go over some of the things that are happening around Townsend these days. Um, this is just a mini version of something that has been happening over the last few days and is going to continue for the next couple of months, I'm afraid. Um, the title of today's video is More Childish Acts by Select Board Member Kell. As you might recall, a couple of months ago, February something or other, or it might have been January. I have to check again. We had the kindergarten meeting where they did musical chairs. That was the Townsend Affordable Housing Trust, where Veronica just, I don't know, she couldn't decide where she wanted to sit. She just had me chasing her around the room. I don't know what that was about, but this is, I think we're running a preschool or something or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. I don't want to be overly insulting to people who might suffer some of these disorders that I'm concerned about. But here we go. Now, those of you might know, if you're following everything that's going on, especially with the videos that I've been presenting, you might know that last night, all right, what is today? I think it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday? Yeah, it's the 26th of March. It's been a busy week for Townsend government, but today's Wednesday, the 26th of March, 2025. And last night, I attended the FinCom meeting, the Finance Committee meeting, and they had met at a scheduled meeting to go over the budget and try to figure out what they want to recommend for the upcoming town meeting in May, as well as what they knew was happening is that there's supposed to be a ballot question on the annual election ballot, which is April 28th. And it's important that everybody know that and that they go vote at town hall that day. It's in-person voting. I don't think that there's not early voting, or there might be, I don't know. Just go to the town hall and vote and get it over with. But there's going to be an override question. And we went over that. The Board of Selectmen, I don't mean to confuse you, but this is what it's like to follow these people around at town hall. But on Monday, there was a Board of Selectmen or Select Board, whatever they're going by this week, meeting, and at noontime. They had one of those daytime meetings. Got to sneak those in. Well, I went over there and I recorded that, and that's one of my videos. And they voted on what they wanted the ballot question to say, that in order to, because the town has to vote at an election regarding an override. So they had to meet to identify what that ballot question was going to say. They had a deadline to meet. And so they did that. They voted for that on Monday. During that meeting, there was a comment made by Veronica Kell, and some of that carried over into the FinCom meeting last night. And I have to tell you, the FinCom meeting last night was a nearly 3-hour marathon, but they had a lot. There was just a lot, and there was a lot going on. It was, I called it fiery, because there were personal attacks made against me, and the basics of the meeting, and the members of the FinCom, they're there representing the townspeople. They're appointed by the town moderator, and they're there to help the townspeople make the right decisions on the budget, and they recommend to the town itself on ways to manage the town's finances, because the town isn't doing it very well, and the FinCom's really, I think, had enough. But the meeting, if you can handle it, it's nearly 3 hours, but it's not that boring. Parts of it get dry, like, people talking numbers. It can, if you're not really following it, it can be tough. But there's exciting moments, let me tell you, where people were getting riled up and believe me, the FinCom did not agree. I don't know if there's any agreement between the FinCom and the Board of Selectmen anymore on anything. And you have to watch that FinCom meeting. But I'm going to bring up just a little bit of what's been happening. At the select board meeting on Monday, they voted on this ballot question. Like, okay, they still haven't got their budget together, but they voted on this ballot question. And Veronica Kell was really upset with being, I'm going to say, dissed. I don't use that slang word a lot, but Veronica was, I guess, ignored. I don't know what she calls it, but she wasn't ignored. She thinks the world revolves around her, and everybody's supposed to kiss her, you know what, and if you don't, she's just going to retaliate. And I'm about to demonstrate it with her own voice and her own statements. It's not overly edited. And when I say overly edited, I mean I just took excerpts. That's the editing. I haven't changed any of her words. I'm just put excerpts because one meeting was over 3 hours, almost 3 hours long, and I just cut this part out of the FinCom meeting. But the first part, I'm just going to show you of what you have to see both meetings. The select board meeting, when Veronica talked about her role as FinCom liaison as a member of the Board of Selectmen, and the FinCom meetings and their postings, and what she thinks is supposed to be happening in order to satisfy her. It's kind of frightening to watch. But I'm going to show the select board meeting, and then I'm going to take you to the FinCom meeting from last night so you can see how that conversation went. And that's only part of it. But I'm doing a number of videos as excerpts because there's just so much to unravel between particularly Veronica Kell and the budget and the FinCom. And if this is any indication of what town meeting is going to be like in May, we are in for a ride. You think town meeting's been tough over the last couple of years? I'm afraid for May of 2025. But let me get things started. Let me bring up, oops, I almost pushed the wrong button. Wait, here we go. Let's, oh gosh, I gotta go to the right window. Where are we? Okay, I'll get there. Override amount. There it is. Let's play. Finance. My conversation with the chair of finance on 3/12 was that they were meeting the first week in April. The meeting on the 25th, and I am the liaison, I was not informed of. Not the 25th, the 17th, was it the 18th? Same day as ours, 19th, whatever the day was, that Wednesday meeting. I did not, as the liaison to that department, I did not know they were meeting. My last conversation with the chair was that they were meeting the first week in April. So she's here confessing that she was not paying attention and she missed the meeting. She didn't know that the meeting was scheduled. And as the liaison, in my opinion, she should be keeping tabs on those boards and committees that she's liaison for. And here she is confessing that she, as a liaison, I didn't know they were meeting. Let's see what else she has to say about that. So,
are they meeting again tomorrow?
They are, yes, and I did receive that. So okay. I did receive their agenda.
Okay.
So I'll start going through the.
Okay, so Veronica let everybody know that she was not happy with not being notified by the FinCom. I mean, I was being a little sarcastic a moment ago, where she was confessing that she hadn't paid attention and she didn't know that the FinCom was meeting. But what she said was they didn't tell her, and they should have told. She expected to be notified that she's the liaison, and she should have been notified. She should have had a personal engraved invitation to go to another board's meeting, which is, to me, ridiculous. It's her job to keep tabs on what is going on around the town. Other boards and committees have enough of their own work to do. If she wants to be involved with the FinCom, it's the select board's responsibility to let the FinCom know what decisions they're making that is going to is going to impact what the FinCom is doing. And if she's the liaison, she should be letting them know. But let's see. I gotta pull this. I'm just gonna get rid of this thing. I'm gonna pull up the excerpt from the FinCom meeting so we can check this out. FinCom meeting. Share this screen. So this is, I just want to double check and make sure I've got you. Yeah, we've got things. This is also my video. So I'm going to do the whole screen here. Now, you may have to turn the volume up. For some reason, when I'm recording, the volume is really crappy, and I apologize. I'm trying to figure it out while I'm on scene, but we'll have to see. I got to go back to the window. Sorry, we'll get there. Okay, so on this video, I'm at the camera, and the FinCom is meeting here, and you have the screen, the computer screen that's up on the wall. This meeting is also being broadcast on Zoom, so there are half a dozen or more people who are also attending this meeting that have zoomed in, and one of them is Veronica Kell. And up until almost around this point, she was just sitting there being quiet. And just to let you know on how some of this started to transpire, is I knew that there would be people coming in on Zoom, but yet because this was a FinCom meeting, that they had to do a lot of shared screen and have spreadsheets up on the wall. So no one, if you're in attendance, and even you'd have to only be zoomed in to know who's else is zoomed in. You miss like almost half the meeting if you don't zoom in. So I brought my iPad and I logged in on Zoom so that I could see the other screens, which shows that, the Brady Brunch thing, what you got, all the squares or Hollywood squares, whatever anybody calls these Zoom squares. And it showed everybody that was in the meeting. So that's why a couple times I interjected into the FinCom meeting to let Don, the chair, know that something was going on the Zoom side, because it's not visible to him. You can even see the laptops in front of him. He's just looking at the spreadsheets, which is enough for him to do. So I was kind of monitoring Zoom so that, and let them know when they had questions that were really needed. I knew that Veronica was there, and I knew she knew the answers. I let the committee know that, hey, your liaison is here. Ask her. She's on the Zoom. So anyway, I just want to give everybody that explanation as to how this next piece transpired. So if I can start this up, maybe we can, and listen in. They're gonna start talking about the override, and then they're gonna kick in. Veronica is gonna give her you'll have to listen.
Yes. It appears, okay. I think she's 100% right. Okay.
It
It
appears
is
as
going on the
requested.
ballot as an override. The school?
It-
Correct.
but
The ballot question from yesterday,
Okay,
it appears as an override.
oh, we haven't seen that.
Oh.
We
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
When do we get to see that? FinCom.
Oh,
Yes, the woman sitting next to me who's out of view is Kim Craven, and she was telling the committee that yesterday the FinCom had, I mean, the Board of Selectmen had done the override question. I know it's hard to hear, and I'm sorry, but the FinCom, Mary Jane Churchville, had just asked, well, when do we get to see that? And they're trying to do the budget without having the information for what was on the ballot. And so they were asking, they were talking amongst themselves, like, okay, how was, and Kim knew the answer, and I knew the answer, and I just couldn't remember what the number was. Because I was, as you know, I was at the select board meeting, and it never occurred to me that the FinCom would be sitting here and Veronica would not give them the information. But I'm telling you something in advance. So listen up.
That is my consternation when you were talking about the budget.
Okay.
Yesterday it was voted as an override for $625,000 for the town and the schools. And the schools were eliminated from the override.
Yes, they were.
Correct.
100%.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, we haven't seen that.
I'm sorry.
So
It's not your fault.
No,
Right, we haven't seen the,
When do you think we might get it?
I mean, how can we even work,
So,
do anything?
so I would put
Can
my
I
town.
add that your FinCom liaison from the Board of Selectmen is on the Zoom right now? Maybe you
Oh,
could
okay.
ask her.
All right.
Right, when we're gonna get that letter that, I mean,
the wording.
the wording for the ballot. Oh, I guess that tells us.
Yeah, she raised her hand.
Okay, maybe she can't.
Maybe it's
Are you-
technical.
She's there.
Maybe you're muted?
She's there and she's not muted.
I don't think I am.
You're good.
I can answer a couple questions here. The school budget stays as the school budget is. The funding is for the town, which includes the schools. Nobody is changing the school budget. That's number one. Number two, on the question on the ballot, that was put forward at the selectmen's meeting yesterday. So you can, I don't think we have ever distributed to all departments the wording of the ballot ever for any override, but you can watch the selectmen's meeting and see the motion. It was read into the record. So if you want it, you can get it there. It is available, it is transparent, and that's the way it goes.
Wow.
Now, did you get that? Now, she's the FinCom liaison. They're asking about the ballot question, and she's completely refusing to engage with them and share any information about the ballot question for the override. And she's saying that if you want it, if you want to know what the ballot question for the override is, or any information, basically anything about the override that the selectmen are putting forward, clearly without FinCom involvement, you're going to have to watch the select board meeting. We talked about it yesterday. We're being very transparent, don't you know? And this is what transparency means to us. That if you want to know what's going on, FinCom, about the financial stuff on the town, you're just going to have to look at the select board meeting from yesterday. We don't think we've ever circulated the information that's on a ballot question to any other board before. So we're being as transparent as we have any intention of being. So if you want it, you're going to have to look at the meeting from yesterday. And she never, ever during this entire almost 3-hour meeting that she was in attendance for as the select board representative to the FinCom, as a liaison, she did not let them know what the ballot question was saying regarding the override question, which I'm watching this again with you all while I'm doing this video, and I am mortified that she just stuck it to them and said, I am not giving you information that you need to do your job this evening. And this was early in, this was during the first half hour of this meeting. And the meeting was almost 3 hours. And the only person, it was Kim Craven that actually gave the FinCom the number that's on the override. And she had the best information. I did not do my studying beforehand for this FinCom, so I didn't have it off the top of my head. I left the room to try to see if I could pull it up on my iPad, and I couldn't because I had the Zoom going and it was not going to work out. But I mean, this, and I'll tell you, the reason that she was acting this way was because of the first video, the first clip I showed you from the select board meeting, when she complained that the FinCom had a meeting and Veronica didn't get her personal engraved invitation to attend the FinCom meeting. I'm the FinCom liaison and I wasn't told about this meeting. Instead of, it's my responsibility to pay attention to what's going on in this town. And I'm supposed to go to these meetings and I'm supposed to share information that's helpful to do the board and committee's mission. That's the goal, the purpose of FinCom. I mean, that's the purpose of liaisons. I am just dying here that she actually stuck her nose up to the FinCom. And I know, I just know it's total and nothing but retaliation against the FinCom for not giving her a personal engraved invitation for the FinCom meeting that was held the previous week. And this is disgusting, childish behavior again from Veronica Kell. She does not like anybody to do anything. she has to make she has to be the princess. She has to be the queen. Princess probably not good enough. She wants to be the queen of everything. And this is frightening. I'm going to let this play a little bit more because you're going to hear, she's going to talk about a couple of other things and you can hear her voice escalate as her rage grows. And I'm not playing the whole meeting for you, but throughout this meeting, she just loses it. She loses her temper repeatedly because the FinCom is doing their job and not just falling in lockstep with what she wants them to do, because they represent the townspeople. Okay, let me hit the play.
Two other things, the budget that you're looking at is the budget that does not require, it's what the departments gave, and it does not require collective bargaining negotiations. We have 5 unions that we work with, is that right? 4 or 5, and it takes time to do that. The cuts that are in the proposed override budget are cuts that department heads made that did not include to go to collective bargaining. And it retains the staff as is. Everybody's just going to have to make do in their working environment with less. As far as the elections go, at town meetings, when there's an article that says we would like to take from free cash $35,000 for elections, which I believe is what the wording was for the elections thing that Kathy put forward, I think a year ago, because of all the override votes that were anticipated, as well as what Dawn spoke to. That money exists over fiscal years. So it does not have to be expended within the current fiscal year. It is separate from the operating budget. And that is how Kathy can zero out her postage, because she can tap into that warrant article. And if you were on capital planning, we saw a whole list of those articles, and some of them are going to be combined to allow for things that we don't have in either free cash or capital stabilization. Because although there have been override asks, and no, they haven't passed, the town has been cutting. And one thing we haven't done, and Dawn, I know you can attest to this, is replenish capital stabilization or replenish the stabilization count. We have not been able to do that as a town for the past 5 years. We have maintained our staffing in order to provide services to the town. Now, as far as if the override doesn't pass, we can't say right now what those are. If we went out and said, oh, look at all these cuts, and we have not collective bargaining it, the town would be in a much worse place than what they are right now. That has to be collective bargaining. It is not done in public. And there's a lot of work to be done over the next few weeks. So just know that. On the 5-year budget, my last year and my last round as select board, we got a community compact grant for ClearGov software in order to do 5-year planning. The select board did that. We are very much in favor of 5-year planning. But for whatever reason, the last I heard, and I had an account to ClearGov, as did Dawn and anybody else that was on the FinCom or the select board at that time. But apparently nobody, somehow, I thought ClearGov was doing it, was going to enter all the data for the last couple years. Apparently that never happened. My term ended, and apparently so did ClearGov software. Maybe Dawn can talk more to that, but I did ask that when I came back as a selectman in November, and was surprised to see that ClearGov software was not being used by the town.
The ClearGov,
Okay. I don't want to beat a dead horse on some of these things, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a fill on what it doesn't even continue. I mean, there's a lot more later on in the meeting, and I'm going to do other videos to show some of this. But just to catch the last point on that she was making before I cut it off, when she was complaining about this ClearGov software and this meeting, and we did go a little bit farther into it, so you can go back to the meeting and catch this. And this section that I was just showing you was at about the 25-26 minute mark, so you should be able to find it easily, where I introduced Veronica to the group. But when she's talking about this ClearGov software in order to do 5-year planning, if anybody's ever opened an Excel spreadsheet, which I think most of us have, I'm kind of wondering if Veronica has spent much time using Excel, but she must not have a lot of experience. I know that she mentioned she uses the Apple product Numbers, which I prefer Excel over Numbers. I have both. I don't know. I just don't know. It doesn't matter because you can interchange a lot of the data, but you don't need ClearGov really. If you have any interest in doing a trend, a financial trend, and to look at a 5-year budgeting planning, and it's not a rocket science kind of thing, which is good because Veronica's got a math degree, not a budgeting degree. So maybe that's her problem. I don't know. But it does take some legwork or stubby pencil if you're old school accountant. You have to enter data. Now, nobody's going to do it for you unless you want to pay a lot of money. I mean, they were talking about, this ClearGov. I remember when they got this software, but then of course they're very this group, Veronica, I'm going to say Chaz, Joe, the former town administrator of Eric, and then of course even Ross, they didn't, or mostly the Board of Selectmen people, they don't want to spend the money. We got a grant. We're going to get the software. It's going to save everything. We're going to get all this stuff. Everybody's going to do all this work for us. We don't have to do anything. And we're just going to it's just going to spit out what we need. and we don't have to do anything. That's not how any of this stuff works. Our treasurer's office and our accounting department, they don't just push buttons and say, oh, let's see what this spits out. And I don't have to do any work. I don't have to think. I don't have to enter any data. I'm just going to whoosh, it's going to be there. The software is going to collect the data on its own. And then I just have to push a report button and it's just going to give me, I don't have to try to figure out how to put the data into the report. That's not how it works. And you actually have to take the time. And when you're instituting any kind of these large scale financial software, in particular budgeting software, it's not cheap to start with if you're using these fancy programs. And the fancy programs are good. ClearGov, and there's a couple other ones that are out there competitive, but they're all, there's no free lunch here. And they cost a good amount of money, but it also requires a front load. When you get this kind of thing, you have to, and the town itself, whoever is going to be using this data, you have to input it. And if you've ever taken basic computing 101 in even maybe high school, when computers were new, it was college for me. But I'm sure now it's probably fourth grade. I don't know, but there's a saying, about data entry. It's called garbage in, garbage out. You don't enter the data, you're not going to get your report to say what it should. It's going to have the wrong information. So it's it constantly has to be teased, and you have to actually play with some numbers and see what you do. But Excel actually provides that. And we already have Vadar, and we have there's additional software that's also in play between the treasurers. I think mostly the accountant has some things. I'm not quite sure what she's using. But this all requires, there's a lot of work entailed. You can't just expect these things to happen. But what happened as Veronica was leaving the board, and of course she's really quick on blaming whoever, they dropped the ball. They didn't do, I was shocked when I came back as a member of the Board of Selectmen and all this stuff wasn't just humming away. Well, they made decisions, and they were probably bad decisions because they wanted to spend money on all these other crazy things instead of things that were going to help manage the town. You can bite off your nose to spite your face. And that's exactly what our board has done for the last 5-6 years. You got to look at things that are going to pay you back, not just let's cut everything to bare bones and just hope for the best. When you're going to spend money, you don't blow it. You don't spend it on things, oh, I want this. Like these positions, the ARPA positions are up on the table next. And you don't just, oh, we need one of these. We could use one of these. Wouldn't it be nice if we had these positions with people in them, and then we don't have to do this work. Somebody else will do it. But then you're using that money and you're not putting it in these programs that will pay you back tenfold. And Veronica is partially right that this software would be helpful, but it's not the end all. It's not, the invention of the dishwasher or the invention of a microwave. You got to actually work with these things. You can't expect magic to happen. And then because it's proprietary, you have to pay memberships and subscriptions and pay for the data flow so it'll continue to function. And actually, if it's going to grab data out of other software, I'm spending a lot of time on this and I apologize, but this is how we waste, and we will refuse to pay for things that are cost effective and saves us millions somewhere else. It's not as clear, but a bean counter, the accountant could probably show you that and explain with her opinion on whether certain software programs are worth it for a town of our size as well. And I will tell you, I know for a fact, I've I've even asked the town, why isn't this being implemented? Um, Excel, Excel will do it for you. They don't, you have to enter the data though. You have to do the work. And it doesn't matter if you get ClearGov, ClearView, whatever you got, or Excel, or you're just going to use, remember the old green? I still have some of those books with the green paper with all the columns, the debits and credits, and 12 column. I used to have a 13-column spreadsheet because we used to have to close out the book because I have an accounting degree. I went to accounting school before computers. I deserve a medal for that. I could do accounting without a computer because we didn't have them. We didn't have computers when I went to accounting school. When I got my degree in accounting, nope. Those green spreadsheets covering half the kitchen table and over the sides, and oh my God, and doing closing entries. Oh my goodness. If you're an accountant, you know what I'm talking about. You have to be an older accountant. These young kids, no, you don't have any idea what it's like to use literally stubby pencils. Oh, a whole row of pencils. We didn't use pens. Pens weren't allowed. All pencils, because you got to fix your mistakes. And sometimes you didn't have a really good calculator either. So you had to do it on your own. Anyway, we did have those, but never mind. But Excel will do the work if you'll input it. But on the internet, the Department of Revenue, the Massachusetts Department of Revenue, Department of Local Services, there's areas, whole swaths of areas. But there's this one section, it's easy to find. I can't remember specifically what they call it, but it's part of the financial planning, financial reports, financial help that for all towns. And it says how to do your forecasting. And they've got the spreadsheets already sitting there and with all the instructions, and it tells you what to fill in the blanks with, where to get the information. Some of the stuff is loaded in the state, but you can't download it into the spreadsheet. You have to enter it. But once you get it entered, updating it's easy. You have to do the work up front, people. But the spreadsheets that are needed are right there on the Department of Revenue's website. And but you have to do the input yourself. And I can't do it because the reports, the data is coming from reports that I don't have continuous access to. I can do public records requests and get access to some of the data for a moment in time, but I can't have continuous access where I could do the spreadsheets for anybody. The only people that can do this has got to have continuous access to all the data that's flowing through the treasurer's office, probably even the assessors, maybe, and the accounting department. And then where all the data is coming into the town from all the departments, every single penny that's floating around, even those cash accounts, or the piles of cash that are in people's drawers. That's something that drives me crazy. I could someday do a class on that one. That upsets me greatly, all this cash. Nope, got to do something about the cash. And that's what the auditor says too. But, I was going to say I just work here. I don't. I'm a volunteer in my own life, trying to keep you guys posted. But I came here today on this particular video just to show you the childish acts that Veronica had complained about the FinCom at the select board meeting because they didn't tell her about a meeting. And oh my God, I should have been invited. I should have had an invitation to this meeting and they didn't send it. So I'm going to go to the FinCom meeting and I'm going to not tell them an important piece of information that they needed to do their job. and tell them, if you want the information, you'll have to go on YouTube and look at our meeting that we had yesterday, because it's there and we're being transparent, because that's what we think transparency is, don't you know? I don't know, this is element, we're in preschool here. No offense to preschool children. Preschoolers do their best. They try to be good kids. Not Veronica. She's the schoolyard bully. Every room she goes in, it's all whatever she wants. And if you don't even know if you don't know just telepathically what she wants, you're gonna fail. It doesn't matter what it is. She's gonna make you fail. And this FinCom meeting was just chock full of more incidents like this. And there's so much. I'm going to be doing multiple videos over the next week or so anyway, on these incidents that all occurred. This meeting was just loaded. And you should watch the whole thing if you can. Just run it, turn it on your TV, whatever, and go do other things and just keep it running in the background. When you hear something juicy, go back and rewind a little bit and catch it, because I'll tell you, there's no way this override's going to pass just based on last night's meeting. That's my opinion, because it was just a shit show. Fiery. Anyway, but this video, I'm sorry, I'm just babbling about this FinCom meeting, was too much. I just wanted to highlight and isolate this particular incident and demonstrate how Veronica how she felt slighted and then retaliated against the FinCom, which only harms the town. Makes her look pretty stupid and foolish and childish, but it harms the whole town, because just withholding and then making people, she thinks they're subservient to her, and she doesn't even, the select board doesn't appoint the FinCom, it's the town moderator, in case you didn't know that. They don't work for her. They don't. Okay, I'm going to stop. And I want you to just pay attention to what's going on in this town. I try to give you information. I try to keep the videos rolling. And the best way that you can keep tabs on the videos, I know some of you are getting my videos, people are sending them to you, or you're getting them on Facebook or other places, but you're just getting a video and you're watching that video and you're not going fully into YouTube, or you don't know what you got when you get into YouTube. As you're watching this video, I believe I'm on a different software program while I'm recording it, so I don't see it. Although I can. Oh, let me pull this. Hold on. I'm going to pull one of these back. Here we go. I'm going to show you something, I think. Where are we? Let's see. Is it showing here? If you have, it's not showing. If you, in the right hand corner in the video, you see there's a in the video, you got Dawn's striped shirt, and to the right, as you're looking at it, there's this little red thing. It's small. It says subscribe, and with a little forward arrow, looks like a play button. If you push that, it will take you where you need to go to subscribe to my channel. You can also, let's see if I'm going to bring this, try to get the other version of this video so I can manipulate it for you. Fiery FinCom, there it is. Okay, so you can, of course you can't, I'm looking at it as the owner, so, oh, that's why I'm not seeing it. Darn it. Let me see. That's mine also. But this, I can look at analytics. But you can like the video here, share if you want to. Somewhere here, see, you can't see. But down in this bottom part on your screen, there's a subscribe button. it says subscribe, and it's down in that menu part. It's really there. Trust me. Trust me. And anyways, I'll come back. That it's all there, and you can subscribe, and you you'll and if you're logged into YouTube and nobody knows who you are, okay, you can use your own email. Usually, the best email to have is a Gmail account. You can log in, you register with YouTube, and that way, whenever you watch on YouTube, it kind of keeps track, and you can see other things on YouTube. I'm not the only thing on YouTube, believe me. There's millions of other videos, but you could subscribe, and you'll always know what's going on, and you can find all the videos that I've recorded are available. I'm going to try to take you back to, again, I keep doing this, to the beginning here. Oh, this is what it looks like when you're at my thing, mostly. And this is my main page, Real Deal Around Town. And you see all my videos. They're all there. And then you click on videos, and it shows here, you got videos, then you got shorts, where it shows all the ones that are really short. See? And then I've done a few live ones. And I have separated some things into playlists, but I really haven't been doing too. Oh, see, this is some of the. This just shows my channel. Because this is things other than. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of my playlist, but this playlist that you can look at that I have designated for you to see that separates some of my videos, but this is the best place to see all the videos, and I believe these are all in chronological order. And you can go look for whatever you're looking for. You can see they're all here. Some of the ones that will show here for me, they might not even be published. I'm not sure. Depends on what view we're looking at. But yeah, but somewhere in here, there's a subscribe button. When you're looking on your side of things, there's a subscribe button. So I'll try not to bore you anymore. So I'm going to go now. I'm going to keep telling you I'm leaving, but that's what I wanted to tell you today. So that's that. I will be back soon with more information from this meeting, as well as I still owe you the update on the open meeting law complaints that the Board of Selectmen have totally ignored, and the Attorney General is getting pretty feisty about. I suspect that there will be a fine. That's what I suspect. I suspect the Attorney General is going to give the town a fine for failure to even respond to them. But we shall see. We'll see how that goes. But there's a lot going on that I just haven't had time to tell you about. But I'm back. I think I am over my COVID. So I'm getting my energy back, and I'll be back at it, getting these videos out to you. So thanks for watching, and please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and please comment on my videos. I really like to hear what you think, what you have to say about the videos or things going on in town, and I see them all. Sometimes I comment back, sometimes not, but sometimes I do. But so, all right, I'm going to end now, really. All right, have a good day, and I will see you on the next